History of legislation in India. History of legislation in India can be seen through since the British regime. In 1810, the government of Bengal enacted the Bengal Regulation Act. Then Hyderabad and Mysore have respectively enacted Ancient Monuments and Preservation Act in 1817 and 1825. The extent and reach of these statutes were limited to the territories of the concerned states. In 1904, Ancient Monument Preservation Act was formed. This is wherein not only the government buildings but also private buildings under private owners were taken care of, and if the private owners denied to do so, then it was forcibly acquired. And the Government of India 1935 Act, the subject ancient and historical monuments, archaeological sites and remains included in entry 15 of Federal List, applicable to all ancient monuments and objects of archaeological, historical, or artistic interest. Under Constitution of India, Article 949, under Directive Principles of State Policy, it has made obligatory for a state to protect every monument, place, or object of artistic or historic interest, which is of national importance, from spoliation, disfigurement, destruction, removal, disposal, or export, as the case may be. Heritage is a fundamental right. Under Article 21, the preservation of heritage has been incorporated to be the part of life enshrined in Article 21. The right of an individual to preserve his or her heritage has been elevated to status of fundamental right guaranteed by the Constitution, and no person can be deprived of such right except by the due process of law. Under cultural and education rights, Article 29, protection of interest of minority. Any section of citizen having a distinct language, culture, scripture of its own shall have the right to conserve the same. Article 51A, the fundamental duties. It shall be a duty of every citizen of India to value, preserve, and the rich heritage of our composite culture, and to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have a compassion for living creature. It is very difficult to give details of all the statutes in such a short period. So it's just an overview I have tried to explain here. Some heritage protection laws, rules, policies. In history, we see the Treasure Trove Act 1878. This is law relating to the treasures found under the soil. The Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act of 1958, which is for ancient and historical monuments, sculptures, carvings, and other objects of archaeological sites and remains which are protected and preserved. The archaeological excavations are also regulated and are of national importance. Then the procedural part is taken care in the Ancient Monuments Archaeological Site Remained Rules 1959, the Antiquities and Art Treasure Act of 1972, especially to curb the smuggling and fraudulent dealings in antiquities and ancient monuments to be prevented. The Antiquities and Art Treasure Rules is a procedural part. These are at the national level. Then we have at the state level the statutes like Telangana Ancient and Historical Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1960, Telangana Heritage Protection Preservation Act 22 of 2017. Then at the city level, we have acts and various agencies who are taking care at the city level, like Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai constitute a Mumbai Heritage Conservation Committee. Similar to Delhi, we have a Heritage Conservation Committee. So this is just the overview of all these statutes and rules and policies, but it's not complete. There are still so many states and places and people who need